Welcome to CSM Talk, the CSM podcast that focuses on two fundamental aspects of customer success: value to the customer and value to your organization. Today on Rule 40 Success, I'll be asking my guests to focus on a particular area of the Rule 40: new logo acquisition, upsell and expansion, churn, or profitability, and give their point of view on how they would partner with customer success to drive aspects of the Rule of 40 and how this delivers customer value. Okay, got it? Good. Let's CSM talk. Okay, so on today's CSM talk, it is my great pleasure to introduce Jeff Heckler. Jeff, good afternoon. Good morning.
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. Yeah, you're right. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever people are watching this in whatever time zone. And a special good afternoon, Bună ziua, to my Romanian friends who I know will be watching.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Just a shout out.
Cool. Okay, so it's great to have you on CSM Talk Rule 40, Jeff. So before we actually get into the podcast and the details of it, first, if you'd just like to give the audience a quick introduction as to who you are and what you're about and what you do.
Sure. My name is Jeff Heckler. I'm the Director of Customer Success Solutions at Marketsource. So we provide customer success, people, technology, and process to enterprise companies and largely the Fortune 500 in all industries, of course, high tech, but also we have major players in telco, automotive, building, manufacturing, CPG, energy, etc. So we provide customer success to our customers as a product, and we also, and I'm also responsible for customer success internally in the organization. Yeah, it's a good time. So that's what I'm responsible for. That's what I do outside of work. It's running, basketball, music, travel, and art. We'll be combining the last two in the next week, actually, week and a half. I'm going to a couple of CS events on your side of the water over in Paris and Amsterdam. So I'm looking forward to that.
So it's really good you're talking about this, Marketsource being a customer success organization that they essentially outsource to you. So I think it's giving a really big clue as to what you might want to talk about on the Rule of 40. So for those who've not seen the podcast before, the idea is we talk about how CS, customer success, can positively impact one aspect of the Rule of 40. Now, that could be new business acquisition, new business ARR, upsell or expansion ARR, mitigating churn, or on the other side, profitability. And the idea being that CFOs and venture capitalists like to look at this Rule of 40. And if this all nets out at 40% or above, that is a healthy business, a profitably grown, healthy business. So with that in mind, Jeff, I'd just like to ask you, which aspects of the Rule of 40 would you like to be focusing on today?
Yeah, I'd like to think about profitability. I mean, we talk about as we go through our conversation here today and moving forward, think about profitability, particularly where we are today. I could go through the history of why I focus on efficient dollar usage and spend, particularly coming from cost of goods sold models in the way past, and then being very bullish, as I have been for several years, about customer success being commercially responsible to themselves, to their organization, to their customers for profit. That's why we're here. I think there are a host of models that I've actually built that do justify cost of goods sold with CS, and rolling that with in a customer-facing model that then shows the efficiency of why we're PLG or why those motions happen. And also, I think for some listeners on the show, they might not know the Rule of 40. So I'll throw this up here. They can just take a quick shot. It's your growth rate and your profit margin rates, and adding those together to be 40 minus the decimal point, of course. So that's where it starts from. But I think it really needs to be deconstructed in every case. It's a great glam metric, and it's a great high level place to start. It's even at high level, it's only really instructive if it's on a trend. For early stage, you're looking monthly. For more mature organizations, quarterly, and then eventually annually for I would say companies have been around for quite some time and either IPO, maturation. But anyway, so that's where we start. Long-winded answer to your very short question.
This is going to be very fascinating because cost and attribution of cost and these kind of things are very, very big discussions I've had before. So before we get into that, we're going to do the icebreaker question, which I do with all the guests on the podcast. So in one word, not 5 words, not 10 words, not even 0 words, but in one word, can you sum up customer success?
Omnipresent. That's the one word that I will tag and use, and I use that word because it's one word that defines how I think about customer success. It's all places, all time, all touches, all individuals, customer, company. Influencing third-party decisions can help influence and help move your initiatives across the line, particularly reviews, references, advocacy, all that stuff. So I'd say omnipresent. I've said this for a long time to my family and friends. I live in the Penn Station of my professional, environment, not just my company and everybody coming and going, but my customer's company, everybody coming and going. Some of the best things we do in customer success is we facilitate network and communications and conversations and initiatives and shared dollars for our customers to help them get to their goals and objectives and meet their metrics. So omnipresent, everything, everywhere, all the time, all things CS. Customer success is individual success, partner success, company success, customer success.
All pervasive. All you need now is a comp structure to tie it all together. Another podcast. So in terms of you working with your customers to give them a profitable customer success operation, let's start off with how do you partner with your businesses that you are supplying a customer success organization to?
Well, I think the simplest ethos and spirit of how we look at ourselves is we're an extension of our customer's company. And whether you want to call that BPO or outsource or white labeling or however you like, we take on the function for our customer's company. We are them. And so that's the way I look at it. I think a lot of it, maybe you could look at that as a partnership, cross-table accountability, however you want to look at that. But we start with, we are you, and we're moving your organization in the direction. And most often that's because time to value is much faster. Efficiency of cost is greater. And the knowledge, you come in starting on third base, rather use a baseball analogy here in the States, but you start at a place when you bring an organization like Marketsource in at a much further advanced place in the maturation of your organization. You're avoiding a lot of pitfalls, challenges, friction points, spend, loss, hiring, and other key decisions that you would have made or taken a lot longer to make, even if you hire a leader to do it. And so that's what we provide to organizations and take it on.
So what types of organizations would approach to work in partnership with you?
Yeah, that's organizations that understand the value of customer success philosophically. They have a CS 101 understanding of what it is to adopt, retain, expand, and then advocate from customer standpoint. And so they understand a customer journey, and the customer value is much greater as the lifetime results of that customer come back to the company, particularly if they've worked out their CAC numbers and customer acquisition costs and how long and what kind of expense the customer needs to bring back to their company and over what time frame in order to realize value and profitability. And so we bring back the P word again, profitability. So companies that understand, in order to really reap the benefits of profit and exponential cost that is being incurred, and to, in some cases, double, triple, quadruple, even tenfold the value of a customer, they need to be there for a length of time. And so, and I'm talking largely customers that are not tech, not SaaS, and not of course, not at PLG. And so, leaders that understand that conversation around customer value and lifetime customer and customer journeys, and then those kind of lights go on when we start to walk customers through a customer journey. We do the discovery, of course, but then build out what a day in the life of interacting and engaging with our customer would look like, with business process engineering, and all the tech stack that goes along with it to run a successful engagement. And that's generally with a customer success department in total, from VP all the way down to all the ICs, pooled models, digital and scaled, of course. But we also see a lot of interest around renewals, and so retention. Part one of that was COVID, right? When a lot of our customers and a lot of companies globally said, "Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We need to hold on to our current customers." And so CS got a real uplift in 2020 from that, and rode that for a while, and then got right-sized. That's what's happened largely in the past 9 to 12 months, which is good. It's healthy. And so that's what we see in the marketplace. And we also see what a lot of people in customer success in SaaS see is a lot of long tail, right? So whether it's an 80-20 model or not, a large percentage of revenue is coming from large customer base, which does not either require or can be afforded a customer success management relationship. And so we build out digital and scaled, and pooled models are extremely effective. I think we'll touch on that as well when we start to talk more about profitability.
So if we that's a really great background. So if we start at the top, so in my simple mind, profitability is we have some kind of revenue coming in, right, on the one side, which could be a couple of things, right? And then the other side is the cost to serve. So we have that, which is, my customer success organization, your customer success organization. So what are the key sorts of revenue points that an organization that works with you will look at what the top line is about when they want to look at partnering with you in a customer success organization? Do they explicitly go, well, okay, Jeff, what I need customer success to affect is my renewals, firstly, because I don't want to be leaking there. Then I need them to generate upsell. And if we get those 2 bits of revenue right, then we can start talking about what your unit cost is of your people to run this and the stack and everything. And then I get an idea of whenever I'm running a profitable organization. So where do they start with from the, let's at least mark up the revenue points on the whiteboard, and then start talking about what the cost elements are as well. So what do they talk to you typically in terms of revenue?
Well, the revenue numbers, a lot of customers that we start with, they have historics. So they're running something in one fashion currently today. And so we have a snapshot of, okay, what does that look like today? And then what does future state look like? So what would in an ideal space would this organization look like to you? And so we'll take those two visions and start to match those up. And then we'll look at, well, from Marketsource's standpoint, when we bring in tech stack process engineering, and then the individuals to action on our models that we decide to go with, what are those costs going to look like? And then what are the benefits of it? And we, in painstaking detail, go through a pro forma, which very visibly outlines our costs of doing business, and then what that would look like as an engagement. And then the activities that are run through with our practice director organization, what those activities look like, what the activities will then reap, very often in a very common funnel manner, but activities relating to results, and then what those results net out in terms of dollars. And we can talk about retention dollars from there. We can talk about revenue dollars from there. We talk about profitability dollars from there. But we're, like anyone else, we're looking at what it takes to deliver the service in full, and then what the resulting over a period of time would come back from that, and then weigh out those results.
Okay. So what they may be looking for you to do is I've got a vision of where they want customer success to affect key strategic, like metrics like maybe renewals or maybe like, expansion revenue or something like that. And they want you to bring in a model that says, right, well, I can take you from gross revenue retention of 90% to 96%, and this is the team that would bring in to do that. And over a 2-year period, the costs of running this would look like that. Is that the kind of conversations you have?
Yeah, and if you take that direct example, if that 6% has got to net out to cost of doing business with us, as well as what's returned as profit back to the customer. I mean, we need to see all sides winning on that. And there are cases, just like there are cases everywhere, every day, that the unit economics need to be proven out. Retention there's a lot of retention that I see in the world that isn't being acted upon because, quite frankly, the numbers don't run out, right? They don't prove out that attending to a large customer base with extremely low ACV is going to return out the cost of doing business. I mean, it might be the right thing to do, but is it cost effective? And so that's when you look at, okay, well, then maybe we need a whole different model. Maybe we need to look at a digitally led scaled model or a pooled model of CS. And so that will drive down costs. We serve customers in an asynchronous way with a ton of volume of content and many different channels that's going to be built over time. And then, we'll map that out and start to look at the returns there. But then you need to be really tied closely to the customer journey. And you need marketing and you need product and upfront to where are my milestones, where are moments of value, where are moments of truth, where can we enact these touch points so that our customers are really getting value out of it, not just serving with hey, we have a community, we have office hour, but what is it coming from the customers, and then testing. I wouldn't roll this out without going through some testing with a portion of customers in a control group and saying, okay, with the test we've run, we put 2 people in 12 hours a week on a pooled model, and it came back with these results. Simple math shows out that if we FTE these 2 headcount and then run through the same actions, then the results will look like this. Great place to use customer success associates. It's a great place to do some cross training. It's a great place to do testing and skill building without going in whole hog.
Okay, cool. So that's been really useful to understand how you take a real world scenario of you're right, a long tail, and it not really being profitable to serve to try and squeeze retention out of that, and adapting that to a sort of pooled and a digital model. When you partner with businesses, what are the typical kind of leading metrics that, because I mean, I assume these programs are not, these don't sound like engagements which will be, I'll do this for a month and everything's kind of fixed. These are probably longer term engagements over which progress needs to be measured. So when we're looking at this being looking at the key of it being profitability, what are those sort of leading metrics you can show when you partner with a business?
Sure. I mean, we'll start from the high level, always looking at revenue and customer contacts and, whatever the activity levels are from the ICs that are going to be running on your programs. But I think that, well, I know that revenue, profitability, margin are the ones that we really look at. Okay, well, historically, what are we doing with this population of customers that we're looking to serve? And what does that look like? And then, going from to that to what is our team going to be doing? Now, we get really granular on activities, touches, calls, email, meetings. And then we have all the call history and call recording analytics to go through that and see that these actions aren't just occurring, because a lot of times activities and actions aren't achievements. And so what are we really getting out of those? And then aggregating, keywords and talking points and agenda items, and making sure we have a coaching tool that we use for one-on-one coaching as well. And so looking, not just at the high level revenue, profit, margin numbers, but saying, okay, our activities actually driving results out of this. What we're doing 8 hours a day, day in and day out, those would be, but the leading metrics and always with the customers defines. And not what we as an organization measure our business on. That's that's what we get our hands on. It's our responsibility. But when we work with customers, it's what their leading metrics are. Whatever moves the needle on their KPIs to achieve their results and outcomes is what we're after. And so and that's what I say when we work with customers, we are an extension of them. Our our team is an extension of what they do. So we go right to their metrics, right, their KPIs. That's how we go and measure our own performance when we go to market with them.
Cool. So are you able to say, just to read a general, like anonymized level, what types of leading metrics an organization might ask of you?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's so we can go with units sold, we can go with revenue, we can go with upsell, cross-sell attachment rates,
Right.
we can go with renewal rates, we can go with churn percentage, yeah, and cross sells the whole gamut.
Okay. Cool. So when you partner with when you partner, do you cross-functionally partner with the teams within your customers? So is there like, integration with like sales, potentially services, what products and these kind of things, these touch points you would see?
Yeah, that's massively important. And a lot of times, this is new territory to build with a customer and to in a relationship, because we're asking for them to bring in stakeholders that maybe they don't work with on a regular basis, whether it's marketing, so we can work on a customer tree map, whether it's products, so we can get an idea what product roadmap looks like, and and to your point, our engagements are a year plus. And so if we're looking at a relationship with product, the reason being we want to know what the product roadmap looks like, what is available product that we have to roll out as we build relationships with our customers and look at cross-sell and upsell activity. And so we'd often ask for that. There's we will ask for a lot of individual contributor partnership as well, so that we can understand what the day-to-day looks like for their organization and their team, so that we're mirroring activities. If we're joining a cadence that's already been developed, or to work with individuals that give us customer access for customer interviews, customer surveying. So the cross-functional piece is vital to any success we're going to have.
Quite good when you're engaged with with somebody you're partnering with.
What looks like good is the level of communication that we have. We'll all have our scheduled cadence meetings and our the programs that we roll out. There are milestones that we met and hit objective. But when the conversations and the communication come outside of that and start to be informally engaged, then we know that we're really working together in a very robust way, I guess a word would be. The other thing is we have projections on where we'll be within 90 days from launch. And so, the first 90 days, like everyone knows, is the vital make it break it for a relationship for your customers. And so we tie very, very tightly to the objectives that we're looking at 90 days out. And then what does that ramp look like when we get to 6 months, 9 and 12? And so and we have a whole launch and, around that as well. And so that's what we'll measure against immediately with our customers.
I think just to sort of wrap up now, what would you say are the top 3 tips you would take away to any CS leader looking to run a profitable organization?
Yeah, I think just thinking strictly about efficiency, a term that I hear thrown around a lot, and I don't quite understand it, but it seems to fit in for this point, is slow to fast. I think being very intentional and very, very orchestrated with your recruiting team, HR, and the customers that you're serving, whether they're internal or external, when it comes to hiring is vital. Whatever your hiring profile looks like, whether you need to hire individuals that are going to be able to grow with you and change and adapt over time, or you're hiring specific customer success specialists to specific parts of orchestrating the customer journey for you, or CS ops, hiring is just, it makes or breaks your organization, whether you start to dilute talent, or you get a real opportunity to build an organization and level up some of your skill sets across the board. That's the first one that comes right out. I think the second one would be narrowing focus for CS. There's a lot of CS responsibility creep, for lack of a better term, that I'll use, that can come in SaaS, it classically comes from support creep and product and misled or misaligned sales. So it's very important to conduct cross-functional reviews of your organization's RACEs as well as your ICP with peer stakeholders from your organization to make sure that you're able to fine-tune your CS organization and that you are not the catch-all organization for everything, but you have your mission, your responsibilities, and able to direct your team in a very focused manner. And then I think the third part about for running an efficient CS org would be delegation. A lot of CS leaders come from IC roles or smaller teams that expand and grow, and so delegation is something that's not comfortable for a lot of CS leaders. But when you delegate to your team and help them to grow, mentor, and coach them, you lead to empowering them to grow more efficiently with your organization. And this is another part. You get swifter decision making out of your team. You learn more quickly with your team when you start to delegate more of what runs your CS org on a day-to-day. You're going to find more mistakes or failures in your org, but you're also going to be able to grow much faster and find opportunities for that. And a lot of that's going to come from your ICs. Idea generation, problem solving, ideating for ways to serve the customers more effectively come from those that work day to day with the highest rate of customer facing activities. And then lastly, I would very actionable thing is to automate any and all repeat decisions that are made by customer facing individuals. Anywhere that a constant action motion, outreach or decisions being made by a customer facing individual is an opportunity for automation. And so get higher in the sales cycle and stay longer with customers that churn. I know those are bookend statements that can be counterintuitive, but the higher you get in the sales cycle, the more visibility you'll have into why customers come to you, what the total addressable market is saying about your product, why they need it, and where the market is moving. And staying with customers and truly offboarding them will give you insights into why customers are leaving. Are they outgrowing you? Are you outgrowing them? Is the product no longer a fit? A whole host of very justifiable reasons why customers churn or you churn customers as you grow. But those are two bookends I would look at as well.
And again, a really good point on that is all these things you're talking to can go back and refine what an ICP looks like. So when you do that, obviously you come in with more efficient customers that are fit for your business, and that in itself has profitability gains, because you can optimize your team better because they're working on ideal customers and not being dragged in and sunk by one badly sold customer out of another 20 that they've got to deal with. So it's all good stuff. Cool. Jeff,
one point that I found has been very useful in discussions I've had with leaders as I've run customer success orgs is taking customers' journey map at a very high level and saying, my organization is fine-tuned and maximized to take the customer through this journey at this path. I've got high efficiency rate operations behind the activities for this journey map. If we start bringing through customers that don't fit these profiling and outliers and big revenue number, a big contract because we want those numbers, then that alters the efficiency of how I'm able to run my organization. So that's I am maximized to run this particular model, and we can change that. It's great. But that we need to do that with all cross-functional leaders on board, and then I can tune my organization correctly. But as a leader, both operationally as well as strategically, saying here's what we have as a team. These are the reasons why we have that. These are the activities they draw, and this is for the ICP that we have up on at a high level.
And if we get something which is non-ICP, then sell them more services. Gosh. We've seen that happen, Jeff. We've seen it happen.
I've seen companies that want to get into the service game for whatever reason and do exactly that. So yeah.
Right. Cool. This has been so enlightening, Jeff. Thank you so much for this, because the podcast, which I thoroughly enjoy doing, lots of people, not many people touch upon profitability. So it's really, really good to be able to talk to a CS leader like yourself who's really, really well tuned into running efficiencies and profitability, because it's your business, right? So this has been so useful, Jeff, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks to your audience and your network. It's been a great resource for, I know, a lot of people. So I appreciate your work as well. Thank you.
And finally, if people want to get in touch with you, is LinkedIn the best way of getting in touch?
Yeah, Jeff Heckler on LinkedIn, and also our Marketsource.com website has a customer success section, as well as a rebuilt website for all of our resources. At Marketsource.com, you'll see your customer success video library. All the blog content that we release monthly is there, as well as a host of other resources, which I also share on LinkedIn as well.
Perfect. I'll have all this on against the podcast details anyway, and we'll have that on there. So, Jeff, thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you all. I appreciate everyone's attendance. Bye.